Alright, hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Anthony, and in today's video we're going to talk about our delicious Brazilian roast. Ooh, that's hot. That's hot, but it's good. So anyway, now here's the thing. This coffee is decaf, and before you hit the click off the video button, alright, because I know most of the people who are watching this video love caffeine and are not at all interested in a decaf coffee, but I'm going to share a couple of reasons why someone who drinks caffeine would actually buy a decaffeinated coffee. But before I do, I want to introduce you to Holly. Now, she's our roaster, and I'm always telling a story, so I'm excited to share the story with you. But Holly, prior to becoming a roaster, spent the majority of her adult life believing that she didn't like coffee. And so one day her husband took her to a specialty roast cafe. She tried the coffee. I don't know if he had to twist her arm or whatnot. You know, maybe she was like, look, I've tried coffee. I don't like it. You know, did they have to get into it? I don't know. I didn't get that part of the story. Anyway, she tried the coffee. Not only did she like the coffee, she loved it so much that she quit her job in corporate America, both she and her husband, all right, because they both love coffee. Now she loved it too. She quit her job and roast coffee. This is what she does. For her livelihood, she has dedicated her life to roasting delicious coffee. Now, I mean, I think that's a fun video. And I think the moral of the story is what? Well, there is bad coffee and there's some really good coffee, and the gap between the two can be wide, you know, huge. All right. And so anyway, that's Holly's story, and I love it. I hope you liked it too. So anyway, so why buy our decaf? Why buy our Fight Coffee decaf? Well, I already told you Holly's story. She's a top-notch roaster. You know, a lot of, just like any food that you buy, you go to one restaurant, you know, let's say it's Italian, and you're like, you know, it's okay. You go to another Italian restaurant cooking the same meal, and you're like, oh my goodness, you're going to go back there, you're never going to go back there, and you're going to tell all your friends about the good one, right? So there is a difference. Why our coffee? Holly's a top-notch roaster. You got to try it for yourself to see if what I'm saying is true. But anyway, so that's a good reason. And now, needless to say, it's delicious. We already talked about that. I was going to take another sip of my coffee, but I got to wait for it to cool down. So it's a rich, smooth, full-bodied coffee. It's roasted dark with notes of chocolate and graham. Now, right, that sounds delicious, all right? And I wish you could be over here sipping this with me. I'm gonna give it another try here. My tip for you, I wasn't planning on saying this, but I always tell people this. When you get your coffee super hot, I like to put a little saliva and coat my tongue so that when I take a sip there, I don't get burned. And then you can start drinking sooner, and then your coffee is warmer at the end than it would be had you waited. So I hope you enjoyed that tip. That was just, you know, no charge, of course. Well, of course, none of this. There's no charge in any of this here, right? So anyway, so here's a little fun factoid about the coffee bean itself. So when I first met Holly, talked to her, she was telling me a bunch of stuff. She was telling me about the bean itself. She specifically goes to, she gets her coffee from a processing plant in Mexico. And she chose that one because they specifically, or they know how to leave a bit of moisture in the bean, all right? And so with that moisture, she can caramelize it, you know, in a way which I don't understand. You know, I understand caramelizing, and I don't really see, you know, the coffee bean is dry once, you know, I get it, you get it. But anyway, so, you know, she needs that moisture in the bean to work her Holly magic. So that's part of the reason why our decaf stands out from other decafs. So just a little something there to know about the bean. It's just a little fun factoid. Now, again, back to, I know a lot of people do not like decaf. Number one reason why most people don't like a decaf is because they love caffeine. You know the the people, I must have my caffeine. I'm a bear without it. You see the memes and the, on Facebook or whatever. People having fun. How they got to have their coffee and they got to have their caffeine, right? So obviously, if that's what you need, especially in the morning to get you going, you don't want a decaf. And then of course a lot of people don't like decaf because of the taste. Now, a lot of decaf is chemically processed. You may or may not know that. With methylene chloride and ethyl or ethyl. I don't know, is it ethyl or ethyl? If you know, let me know in the comments how it's pronounced. Ethyl, I'm going to go with ethyl. Acetate. So that doesn't sound good, let alone, I'm sure it doesn't taste good. And it puts that little something in the decaf that you don't want or like. But of course, the good news is that our decaf is naturally water processed. And so you don't have to deal with that. And again, just another factor to help make our decaf tasty. Sorry, I don't want to let my whole thing get cold here. I mean, I could heat it up, but it doesn't taste as good once it goes into the microwave. You guys know what I'm talking about. So anyway, our coffee is naturally water processed. And another factor that separates us from the other guys is that most coffee, or decaf coffee, generally speaking, is around 3% or has 3% caffeine still in it, right? So ours, however, has 0.03% caffeine. And that's especially good for, well, I mean, it's good for a lot of people, but it's especially good for people who are menopausal. So if you're menopausal, or you know someone that's menopausal, which you do, right? We all do, all right? Let them know. Now, some people are drinking, they're menopausal, they're drinking caffeinated coffee, and they don't know that that's not a good mix, all right? Other people, they stop drinking coffee because they're menopausal. But if it has 0.03, at least it's worth a try to see maybe is it so low on the scale of caffeine that, wow, actually I can drink it and not be impacted. So that's just another nice little FYI about our coffee related to how much decaf actually is not, or how much caffeine is not in our coffee. All right. So now, and here's another thing that we're finding. People with coffee sensitivities, people generally who have had to stop drinking coffee because of, I have one friend, she has, well, I have a friend who has stomach issues. I have stomach issues. I talk to a lot of people who have gut issues, right? And so the caffeine is a bother to them. And also I would think that the chemicals are a bother to them, or the combination, right? So we have those issues. A friend of mine, he's got heart racing issues. Again, is it the chemicals? Is it the caffeine? Is it the combination? Anyway, he had to stop drinking coffee. A lot of numbers of people, more and more people who I'm telling this to are trying our coffee, our decaf, and are finding that, oh, wow, I can actually drink this. And so they are drinking coffee again. Like that. And enjoying it, because we already talked about Holly, how awesome she is, and how great it is, and how tasty it is. So that's just another great reason to try our decaf. All right. Now, the next points are for caffeine lovers, but before we get to that real quick, this video is brought to you by Impact Health Share. And now I have an article, or a link to an article in the description below, about the healthcare system and how it's in crisis. All right. So if you are in the healthcare system presently, I encourage you to at least make an educated decision, because you do have options. And again, information about that option, Impact Health Share, is in a link in the description below. All right. Back to our topic. Why would caffeine lovers purchase a decaf? Well, here's my favorite reason. And I'm experiencing it right now. I am going to be 60 soon. All right, in a couple months. Used to be I could drink a decaf. I could drink coffee, caffeinated. I could drink 3 shots of espresso, have a latte right before I went to bed. No problem. Now, I really shouldn't have caffeine, 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon to the latest. I mean, the latest, right? Because I want to get to sleep. So right now, as we're filming this, it is 4:34 428. And you know what it is, you know what I'm doing? No problemo. I'm gonna sleep like a baby. Okay, so that is the reason number one. So again, you know, that may not be you, but as we get older, generally speaking, many coffee lovers can't have it after a certain time. You know, if you have friends over, evening, you want to have a, you know, watch, you know, whatever you're doing, you know, however, you know, whenever you want to have a coffee, have one. Enjoy the taste. So that's a great thing. The other thing is, we all know people who drink coffee, love coffee, whether it's decaf or regular, or whatever, right? Give the gift of coffee. It's a great gift. Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, just because. Maybe, you know, graduation, whatever. Give the gift of coffee. All right, so if you have not tried our coffee, either our decaf or any of our others, wait no longer, all right? And to further incentivize those of you who are decaf lovers, I'm offering a special discount now for just a couple of weeks. Use discount code DECAF, D-E-C-A-F, to get 20% off your decaf coffee. All right. Now the offer is only good through March 28th, 2025. So, but hopefully you're hearing about it. Why not take advantage of it to help you do that, giving you a discount. All right. So, what are your thoughts? Can you only drink coffee past a certain hour or so? What is that? And what do you think about coffee as a gift? I think it's a pretty good idea. And finally, do you have any topics that you'd like me to cover other than the decaf coffee topic we're covering today? So if so, let me know in the comments. All right. And that's all I got for this video. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, share. You know what it is. And right now, while you're listening, just grab your mouse, grab it, click, like, right? Comment. And the more you guys do that, and especially if you're not presently fighting human trafficking, whether you are or you're not, you know, it's just something that you can do real quick, real easy. Let YouTube know that this video, people are liking it. And when you do, YouTube's going to get it out to more people. So, as always, thanks so much for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.